Hi everyone,
Hello.
and good evening on this Thursday, the 14th of October 2010. Welcome to the Eigenharp Seminar. Today is our first Eigenharp Pico seminar, where we are going to be looking at the Eigenharp Pico. I'm Aaron, and this is Dave.
I'm Dave. Hello.
Hi. Today we've got some new things. Hopefully the sound should also be better than the previous seminars, and we've also got this wonderful new addition, this screen you should be able to see here, which is Dave's screen. So you'll be able to see everything that Dave does now on your computer. It will become bigger if he does do anything on his computer. I will make it bigger so you can see it in more details. Realise the quality isn't that great, so I will make sure that goes bigger if Dave does do anything. So they're the two new additions, so do let us know how you find them and whatnot. So today we are looking at using your own sounds with the Pico. This is kind of aimed at a basic level. So this is probably people who've gone through the video tutorials and want to know more about tailoring your sounds and whatnot. The only documentation you'll actually need for this tutorial is the quick reference guide. I don't know if you can see it here, which you should have got with your Pico. If not, you can also go to our website and download it and print it off for yourself. I'm just going to post that into the chat. There you go. So you can download it from there and refer to it throughout the seminar. So today Dave is going to probably do about a 20-minute seminar covering the topic, and then we'll have a bit of a question and answer, some questions that have already been submitted. We're going to cover those, and then if you have any other questions for yourself, then we'll also cover those as well. So if you can all plug in your Picos and load up Eigendy. Today we are actually using the latest release of Eigendy, the stable release, which was released just today, which is 1.1.23, which Dave is using. It shouldn't matter too much if you're using an older release, but we have just released a new one today. So I think that's everything. You can, as on previous seminars, interact over the chat room. If we're going too fast, or you want something explained in a little bit more detail, just post into the chat room and we can. I'll get Dave to slow down, or if you want any questions answered, we'll try and get to those as well. If it's something relating to what Dave's talking about at that time, we'll try and get those in then and there. If it's something that is off the topic a little bit, try and save it to the end, so we try and stay on topic as much as possible. Also, there is just a little bit of a delay. There's about a 10-second delay between us talking and you receiving it, depending where you are in the world. Just bear that in mind. If it looks like we're not actually answering you, we probably have seen it. We're just trying to probably just wait for the delay to come through. But anyway, so if everyone's ready, I think we're ready to go, Dave.
All right, thanks. All right, hi. Okay, today I want to, as Aaron said, talk about the sounds that you can load into the Pico. I want to talk about, there's basically three main kinds of sounds that we can use and customize. I'm going to talk about exactly what each of those three types of sounds are, for those of you who aren't familiar with some of these terms. Then I want to look at swapping out some of the sounds, so loading in your own sounds, choosing your own audio unit plugins, choosing your own SoundFonts. And I also want to get on to connecting up the controllers, like the movement of the keys, the strip controller and the breath controller. I want to look at how we can connect up all these controllers to the various parameters in, for example, an audio unit plugin, so you can really start to make the most of the Pico. Okay, so first of all, we have three main types of sounds that we use with the Pico. They're the SoundFonts, the audio unit and VST plugins, and finally there's our own native instruments. So I'll start with SoundFonts. SoundFonts are the first, on the default setup on the Pico, they're the first three instruments you can choose. So you hold down the mode key, and then along course 2, along the right side as I'm looking at the keyboard, the first top three instruments you can choose are SoundFont Player 1, 2 and 3. These are sometimes also referred to as samplers. Okay, so what is a sound font? A sound font is basically a type of file that you can load into the Eigend software, and a sound font contains a number of samples. So a sound font player is really a sampler. So what I mean by this is, if we take the piano as an example, basically every key that you can play on this piano sound, when you press a key on the Eigenharp, what it's doing is playing a recording of that note. So I play a C on the Pico, and when I hit that C, our software is finding a recording of the note C that someone has sat at the piano, pressed the note C, recorded it, and when I press that note, that's what you hear, is the note C. Same, so we've got, for every single note on the piano, there is an associated sample that's loaded into this sound font. So a sound font file basically contains all these different samples. So it's got a recording of every single note of a piano, plus the sound font file also contains information on how these different recordings or samples are mapped to notes when you play them on the Pico. It does get a little bit more advanced than that, because as well as having a different sample for every note, we've got a different sample or a different recording plays depending on how hard you hit the key. So if you hit the key lightly, it actually plays a recording of someone sitting at a piano and pressing the note lightly. If you hit the key hard, it will recognise how hard you're hitting the key, and it will choose a recording to play or a sample of someone sitting at a piano and whacking the key really hard. Okay, so that's sound fonts. Essentially, a sound font file contains a number of samples. In the piano's case, it's got 88 keys, so there's a different recording for every key, plus different recordings depending on how hard you hit the key. And in the case of the piano sound font that comes with Eigend, there's actually 11 different layers. We call them velocity layers. So there's 11 different recordings per note that it can choose from depending on how hard you hit the key. Okay, that's the sound font. I'll come back to that in a little bit. The next type of instrument are the audio unit and VST plugins. So when I hold down the Mo key, these are instruments 4 and 5 along course 2. So you hold down the Mo key and you can choose 4 and 5 to play the audio unit plugins. So audio unit and VST plugins, these sort of things have been around for a while. If you're using a computer with a package such as Logic or Pro Tools or Cubase or GarageBand, you can also use these types of plugins. So they're basically synthesizers, software synthesizers, little bits of software that can create sound made by third-party developers. There's loads of software companies out there creating these audio unit and VST plugins that you can load into your to a host, as in like Logic or GarageBand, and play. And Eigend is also a host, so you can load in these plugins into Eigend and then trigger the sounds using the Eigenharp's keys. I'm going to come back to that as well. The third type of instrument are our own native instruments. So these are ones we created specifically for the Eigenharp. We have a very clever man called Aaron who works for us, and he's created, I'm sure you've all tried these, he's got the clarinet and the cello sound. So these are specific to the Eigenharp. They work in a slightly different way, so they're not samples. When you play a note on the clarinet, it doesn't play a recording of the clarinet. What it's doing is it's called a physical model. So it's basically modelling how a clarinet creates the sound. So you blow into here, and there's a little part of the software that's saying, okay, so I'm getting this much air pressure from the player. If this air pressure was going to go over a reed on a mouthpiece, how would the maths and the physics of that work? And it kind of models and creates a kind of the waveform out of that. And then so you've got the reed and the mouthpiece and the next bit. So okay, so the sound starts there and then it goes into the tube of the clarinet. So how does the tube of the clarinet affect the sound that comes from the mouthpiece? So it kind of does it step by step and uses like a mathematical equation to create the sound depending on how hard you're blowing. The same with the cello, except rather than blowing, it's kind of working out, okay, we've got a vibrating string. If we bow this fast, how does the string vibrate? And then how does the body of the cello affect the sound of the string? So these are our physical models. They've been designed to work specifically with the Eigenharp, so they can really like maximise the full potential of the keys and of the Eigenharp.